What if the man who never chases is actually the one who feels the deepest? Most people think a man who never begs for love is cold, arrogant, or doesn't care. But psychology tells a very different story. Some men will fight for a relationship. Others will send endless messages. They'll apologize over and over even when they did nothing wrong. But then there's another type of man. When love starts slipping away, he doesn't scream. He doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He simply walks away. The question is, why? Is it confidence, pride, fear, or is there something much deeper happening inside his mind? Today, we're uncovering the psychology of men who never beg for love. And by the end of this video, you may never look at silence the same way again. Not begging for love doesn't automatically make someone emotionally healthy, and begging for love doesn't automatically make someone weak. Human emotions are far more complicated than that. Every man's behavior is shaped by his childhood, his past relationships, his self-worth, his fears, and the beliefs he's built over years of experience. Some men chase because they're terrified of being alone. Others refuse to chase because they've learned painful lessons they never want to repeat. Understanding the psychology behind this behavior reveals far more than just relationship advice. It reveals how people value themselves. Let's dive in. 1. They believe love cannot be forced. One of the strongest psychological traits among men who never beg for love is acceptance. They understand something many people struggle to accept. Love is a choice. You cannot negotiate it. You cannot guilt someone into feeling it. You cannot convince someone to stay if their heart has already left. Many people waste months or even years trying to change another person's feelings. These men don't. Why? Because they've accepted a simple psychological truth. Forced affection eventually turns into resentment. Real love survives because both people choose it every day. Once someone stops choosing them, they may feel pain, but they don't beg, because they know begging doesn't create love. It only delays the inevitable. 2. Their self-worth comes from within. Psychologists call this an internal source of validation. Instead of depending on other people to feel valuable, these men build their confidence from their own identity. Their work, their goals, their discipline, their values. Of course, they enjoy being loved. Everyone does. But they don't need another person's approval to believe they matter. This mindset changes everything. Rejection hurts. But it doesn't destroy them, because their identity wasn't built on someone else's opinion. Many people confuse confidence with arrogance. They're very different. Arrogance says, I'm better than everyone. Confidence says, I'll be okay, even if someone leaves. That's a huge psychological difference. 3. They've experienced pain. Before, many men who refused to beg weren't always this way. Some used to chase. Some used to plead. Some stayed in relationships that slowly destroyed their confidence. They sent paragraphs, made promises, ignored disrespect, lost sleep, lost themselves. And despite all of that, the relationship still ended. Pain changes people. The human brain is designed to learn from emotional trauma. When someone repeatedly experiences rejection after begging for love, the brain starts creating new protective patterns. The next time heartbreak comes, they don't repeat the same mistake. Instead, they quietly let go. Not because they don't care, because they've learned begging rarely changes the outcome. 4. Silence gives them more answers than arguments. When emotions become intense, many couples begin arguing. Each person tries to explain, defend, convince, win. But psychologically, endless arguments often reveal less than silence. A man who never begs understands this. When someone truly values you, you won't need to constantly convince them to stay. Distance often reveals priorities faster than words ever could. Silence exposes effort. Silence exposes interest. Silence exposes truth. Sometimes the loudest answer is no answer at all. 5. They respect themselves. Too much to chase someone who doesn't choose them. This isn't about ego, it's about boundaries. Healthy psychology requires healthy boundaries. Imagine constantly asking someone to love you. Eventually, you're teaching them that your standards are lower than your need for affection. Men who never beg often refuse to sacrifice their dignity for temporary attention. They'd rather experience loneliness than lose their self-respect, because they know one important fact. Loneliness heals, humiliation lingers. That's why protecting your dignity often becomes more important than saving a relationship that's already falling apart. 6. They understand human nature. People naturally appreciate what feels genuine, not what feels desperate. This doesn't mean playing games. It means recognizing that attraction cannot survive endless pressure. Psychologists often observe that excessive pursuit can create emotional imbalance. One person becomes the pursuer, the other becomes the prize. Over time, the relationship stops feeling equal. Men who understand this avoid creating that imbalance. They give effort, they communicate. But once they realize they're the only one trying, they stop. Because healthy relationships require two willing participants, not one performer. 7. Their emotions run deeper than most people realize. Many people mistake silence for lack of emotion. That's often completely wrong. Some men cry alone, think alone, heal alone. They don't post emotional messages online. They don't announce their heartbreak, but internally, they're processing everything. Psychology shows that emotional expression looks different from person to person. Some release emotions through words, others through action, others through solitude. Just because someone isn't begging doesn't mean they're not hurting. Sometimes the quietest people are carrying the heaviest emotional weight. 8. They focus on growth. Instead of revenge, heartbreak creates a choice: become bitter or become better. Men who never beg often redirect emotional energy into self-improvement. They exercise, build businesses, learn new skills, read more, travel, develop confidence. Not to make someone jealous, but because growth gives pain a purpose. Psychologists call this post-traumatic growth. Instead of allowing suffering to define them, they allow suffering to develop them. The relationship may end, but their personal growth continues. 9. They accept that not every story has a happy ending. One of the hardest psychological truths to accept is this: closure doesn't always come. Sometimes you'll never receive the apology. Sometimes you'll never hear the explanation. Sometimes someone simply disappears. Emotionally mature men eventually stop demanding perfect endings. Instead, they create their own. Acceptance doesn't erase pain. It simply removes unnecessary suffering. They stop asking, "Why didn't they love me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this experience?" That single shift changes everything. 10. They know their peace is worth protecting. Perhaps the deepest reason they never beg for love is because peace becomes more valuable than attachment. Chaos is exhausting. Constant uncertainty is exhausting. Constant emotional battles are exhausting. Eventually, some men realize they'd rather protect their mental health than hold on to someone who continually disrupts it. Psychologists consistently find that emotional stability contributes to long-term happiness far more than unstable relationships do. Peace isn't loneliness. Peace is freedom from constant emotional conflict. And once someone experiences genuine inner peace, they're very careful about who they allow to disturb it. The psychology of men who never beg for love isn't really about refusing to chase someone. It's about understanding their own worth. It's about protecting their peace, learning from pain, accepting reality, and believing that love should be freely given, never desperately requested. The strongest people aren't always the loudest. Sometimes strength looks like walking away with tears in your eyes, instead of sacrificing your dignity just to keep someone who has already decided to leave. If someone truly wants to be part of your life, you won't have to beg them, because genuine love is never built on pressure. It's built on mutual choice. So the next time you see someone quietly walk away from a relationship, don't assume they didn't care. Sometimes, the people who say the least feel the most. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to PhysioStick for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.